another Sunday in His presence and to learn at His feet. This will be the second part of the lesson we started last week Sunday. It has been the grace of God that has sustained us from the beginning of this year to this present time. Some we started this year together, they are no more. Not that we were able to pray more than those who that are no more, but His grace has sustained us. Before we dig deep into this lesson, let's commit everything to the hands of the Lord. Let us pray. King of Kings, everlasting Father, we worship your name. We reference your name for another blessed Sunday and to learn at your feet. We thank you for how far you have brought us. Thank you, Lord, Father, blessed be thy holy name in Jesus' name. A lot of people would have loved to witness today, but they are no more. Lord, Father, we are not mocking them, but we are glorifying your holy name for everything you have done in our life. Blessed be thy holy name in Jesus' name. We commit today unto able hands, take absolute control in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Help us in the mighty name of Jesus. Lord, Father, we pray for your wisdom, knowledge of your words. Lord, Father, give unto us in Jesus' name. And the listeners, Lord, Father, King of glory, the understanding of the words given to them in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Lord. Blessed be the holy name. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, we have prayed. You are all welcome. Last week, we looked at the divisional readings for this, our lesson, which we started. It was lesson 2. And the topic, as we started, was man's flesh versus man's spirit. We looked at the divisional readings that could lead us through. This morning, we are looking at the body, the body of the message. But before we go, let's just look through our text, which should be taken from the book of Romans, chapter 7, from verse 18 through 25. We are going to look at that briefly. I read from verse 18. For I know that in me, that is, in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present with me. But now to perform what which is good I find not. For that good that I do not. But the evil which I would not, that I do. Now if I do that, I would not. It is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. I find then a law, that when I would do good, evil is present with me. For I delight in the law of God after the inward of man, but I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into captivity in the law of sin, which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? I thank God through Jesus Christ our Lord. So then with the mind, I myself serve the law of God, but with the flesh, the law of sin. We looked at this and we were able to do some justices to our Bible readings and this text. But we'll just go through the outlines of the lesson. The first one is Paul describes life in the flesh. The second one is Paul describes life in the spirit. The third, Paul contrasts flesh and spirit. And the last one, the cry of the conscience. Now let's go through the introduction once again, though we had a look into that, but to make this lesson more meaningful, we need to start from the introduction. There are two forces or natures which control people. Two forces or natures which control people. The first one is the law of the flesh and the law of the spirit. Unsaved people live after the flesh and are in bondage to sin. People saved by faith in the blood of Jesus Christ have spiritual life, live in the spirit, and free from sin. Look back on his own experience. Paul used himself to illustrate the difference between the flesh and the spirit as guiding principles of life. He had to do that because he tasted the two sides of life as contained in the introductory part of the message. He was once a sinner. He lived under sin. He was a slave to sins. He could do everything willingly with his power. As we got to know, Paul was an astute lawyer. He understood the law of the land, and he could use that against Christians. That was what gave him an insight and motivation to persecute Christians. But in his life and the journey of his life, he was able to meet Jesus Christ, and his life was never remained the same. That was why we could look at his life when he knew the law of the land and when he knew the law of Jesus Christ. We are going to look at the comparison and bring out a deduction of which way to go as Christians. Now, the opposite characters of the mind, through which the spirit and the flesh both work, are shown in Romans 8 verse 6. This is what the Christian life is referred to as a constant battle. It is a constant battle because you have to walk between the flesh and the spirit. And anyone that wants to be a true Christian must be totally dead to the flesh and live through the spirit. If I say the spirit, I talk of the Spirit of God. That is the Holy Spirit of God. Now let's look at the first one. What is Christ's life in the flesh? We want to look at what is life in the flesh. From our last class, we were able to understand that life in the flesh is absolute slavery. What you don't intend to do because you are living in the flesh, you will do it because it is the flesh that will now determine what happens to you, not the Spirit of God. The Spirit of God is not there with you again. It's not living in you again. Now let's look at Romans 7 from verse 18 to 24. What we read from our text. There are but two ways to live in the world, in the flesh or in the spirit. These two ways produce two kinds of people, the fleshly, that is carnal or spiritual. These two kinds are called sinners and saints. Anyone that lives under the law of the land, that lives under the law that is being dictated or that is being run by the body, lives under sin. And that person is subjected to total slavery. But anyone that lives according to the Spirit of God, that is the saint, in which we as Christians ought to aspire to become. Well, there are two forces present in natural person: the law of the mind and the law of sin in his members. The mind wills to do good. The mind, that is what God gives to us. At every point in time as Christians, we aspire, we think of doing good. But before we know it, if we are not living in the spirit, before we know it, our lives will be overrun by the flesh, and we now live according to the flesh. The mind delights or desires the law of God. It hates the evil, yet he does it. Why? Because his life is being manipulated by the flesh, which makes him to live in sin. Any life controlled by the flesh is subjective to corruption and maneuver. You can't have two ways to that. If you are being controlled by the flesh, you will be maneuvered and you will live your life in absolute corruption, because that is, you want to find your way in everything you do. And if you use your own wisdom or standard or understanding to always have your way, you will definitely be manipulative and your life will be maneuvered. Now let's go through. A natural person is one living in the flesh, separated from God and devoid of Spirit of God. Anything a natural person does can only be done by human strength, which is unable to reach God's standard. Now, you don't need to deceive ourselves. If you believe you are smart, you are not smart. You cannot smart more than what the Spirit of God will lead you to be. If you believe in your understanding, you are widely read. That one is never a criteria to live in the Spirit. You must subject all your lives, all what you do, to the law of God. You must not have it at back of your mind that I am lettered, I know more than this, I can read the Bible. You can read the Bible like a literature book, but the Bible is meant to be studied, not to be read as a literature book. That is why you need the Holy Spirit to guide you, to know, to give you better interpretation of the words. Don't be complacent with self-righteousness. It kills a lot of Christians because they believe they know without inviting the Holy Spirit to lead their lives. That is why their lives will be manipulated by sins and by the Good morning, my viewers and brethren in Christ. You are welcome to another Sunday. Living in sin, and he could manipulate the law to suit his purpose of subjecting Christians into slavery of imprisonment. Now, I go further. I was without the law once. Then God's law came. He heard it, he disobeyed it, and fell into sin. Sin revived or came alive, and I died. Verse 9 to 13 says, the effect of sin worked death in me. That is, he was dead to the things of God because his life was being manipulated by that sin. Paul did not mean he at that time was in bondage to the flesh. He went on to say he was free from the law of sin and death. Romans 8 verse 2. Some use Paul's words to excuse sin and deny the possibility of holy living. But he said righteousness of law is fulfilled in us when we walk after the Spirit. Paul's flesh was just as he described it. So is yours. Don't leave it. There is an escape from it. Don't live in sin. Don't believe you know it all. Don't believe flesh can dictate everything to you. If you live under the flesh, just be rest assured that things of God are far away from you. Therefore, you are living under bondage. Now let's look at the second lesson outline, which is Paul describes life in the spirit. You could see his life in the flesh. Now let us now look at his life in the spirit. Romans 8 verse 1 to 2. Now no condemnation. Condemnation is sin, that is damnation. Those in Jesus Christ escape this because they walk after the Spirit. Romans 8 verse 1. Let me read that. There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Jesus Christ, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. For the law of the Spirit of life in Christ Jesus had made me free from the law of sin and death. Those in Jesus Christ escape this because they walk after the Spirit. You know, if you walk after the Spirit, that is your spirit, your life is being directed, is being controlled, is being directed. That is, you walk after. That is, you come behind the Spirit. The Spirit leads your life. Therefore, you will not be able to do anything out of your own volition. It will be dictated by the Spirit of God. And the Spirit of God has never led anybody astray. What is the law of the Spirit? It is of life in Jesus Christ. A sinner is dead soul. When a sinner repents and trusts Christ, Christ gives life to his soul. He is regenerate or born anew. If you give your life to Christ, you are a new being. You are a new being. That is, your life will now be controlled, will be directed by, you will not be able to do things out of your own understanding again, out of your own knowledge. Self-righteousness will be taken away from you. Everything you want to do, you will put Holy Spirit first. Now we are going to dig deeper and see why and how did this Holy Spirit came into being. Because some people could be wondering, what is this Holy Spirit? And how do we give our life to it so that it can direct our life? If Holy Spirit directs your life, it will never manipulate you. Everything you want to do will come out of your heart. You have an inner joy. Your life will not be in shambles again. Your life will not be living in sin. There are some things if you are living in sin. There are some things you would have vowed, I will never do this thing again. Out of your own belief, out of your own understanding, I don't want to do it again, or I will not do it again. But before you know it, you are doing it because you are still living under the subjection of sin. You are still a slave. But when the Spirit now leads your path, before you take that wrong decision, Holy Spirit will administer to you. Don't do it. Don't do it. His actions are good. He lives each day with his eyes on the goal of eternal inheritance. That is, if you walk in the spirit. Now, let us now look at the comparison of the two, the flesh and the spirit. Romans 8, 3-9. For what the law could not do, the law that God gave Moses, by which Israel was to live until Christ came, was weak, because we were given the law. The then Christians were given the law, but the law was not backed by the Spirit of God. You know, it is easy to understand the law. It is easy to have the law at your forefront in things you do. But because the Holy Spirit that ought to lead your path was not there in their lives, they could freely do, or they could freely live in sins. Romans 8, 3-9. For what the law could not do, the law that God gave Moses, and by which Israel was to live until Christ came, was weak, because it was not backed by the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit was not in them. They understood the law as given by Moses, but how were they able to do it? They could not do it because they could not do it wholeheartedly, because the Holy Spirit they needed, that could be their compass, was not there. That was why Jesus Christ had to come, so that all these things could be put straight and we could live our lives as Christians. This was not enough, so man failed, because they had the law, but they did not have the Spirit of God that could lead them to obey the law. The law could not save people from sin, but Jesus Christ came and died. You see, Jesus Christ knew the implication. When he was alive, some people could believe him. Now look at it. When Jesus Christ was alive, despite that he was with people, some people could still not believe him. Now he now looked at it. What if he now left this world? How will he be? But instead of that, if I leave, there will be another person that will come. That person was a comforter, the Holy Spirit. Jesus Christ knew that if he had taught them, those people that were coming after those people he met on the planet Earth, how would they be able to live this life without the Holy Spirit? That was why he now said he will send the Holy Spirit that will lead you in everything you do. That was why the Holy Spirit came after Jesus Christ left this world. Jesus Christ knew that it was not that easier. They could understand the law, but how would they be subjected? How would they live under the law of Jesus Christ, under the law as given to him by God? But when Jesus Christ came and died, he condemned sin. Death is a death blow. He saved sinners and enables them to walk after the Spirit. Christ gives this new power by sending the Holy Spirit to live in and guide the saints. Let's look at John 16 verse, later part of that 7, to see what is there. He knew the implication that if he had to go like that, without a spirit that could lead them, they could be deviated from the teachings he put before them. John 16 verse 7. We are just going to read the later part of 7. For if I go not... Now, let me just read everything. Nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is expedient for you that I go away. For if I go not away, the Comforter, that is, if he did not go away, the Comforter that would comfort you will not come. Will not come unto you. But if I depart, I will send him unto you. If I depart, just look at that conditional system. He said, conditional statement, if I leave, I will send him to you. Because he knew that if he left without any comforter, without any compass to Christians' life, a lot of Christians would have gone out of the path. Let's still continue. This gives him the ability to fulfill God's law and live righteously. It gives power to one to bring into subjection the carnal mind, which is enmity, hostility, at war against God. For it is not subjective to the law of God. As long as we are corruptible, the Adamic nature, the body that Adam gave to us as human beings, that is, they call it Adamic nature, the sinful nature. The sinful nature still lives in us, but we must remove that sinful nature and replace it with the nature of God. That is when the Holy Spirit leads our path. Now, for it is not subject to the law of God. As long as we are corruptible or carnal, the battle will go on for the soul of man to obey the Spirit's command or to obey the carnal mind, which cannot be made subject to the law of God. If this were not true, man would not have power of choice. You have the power of choice is one of weapons that Satan is using to manipulate Christians. He knows that God has given you choice, either to follow him or to follow Satan. But as Christians, Holy Spirit will not lead you to follow Christ. Because before you take that wrong decision, before you say the words out of the abundance of your heart, Holy Spirit will administer to you. What wants to come out of your mouth is against the tenet of this, the teachings of God. Don't do it. This is the spiritual battle. Now, as Christians, don't ever believe once you give your life to Christ, everything is done, gone. The flesh, because of that Adamic nature, the flesh will still be in you. That is why you are the battle just begins. A new combat just begins, a new battle, a fresh battle, which is very, very strong. Because your mind, your heart will then be divided. Satan will want to have you. God has had you. And you need to live your life according to the teaching of the Holy Spirit. The battle has just begun. You know, if you look at Romans 15 verse 12, sin came. Good morning. Talk of this battle, it is spiritual. And it takes place in our mind. In our minds. The battle is not the battle you see with your eyes. That is why if you look at Ephesians 6 from 10 to 13, the battle is not over when one obtains salvation from sin, but has just begun. Flesh living cannot please God. It cannot lead to heaven. But when we live in the Spirit, we do please God because we walk in the Spirit. The opposite way the flesh tempts us to go. Two natures are seen here, the rule of the flesh and that of the Spirit. God's Holy Spirit will not live where sin is. That is why our life must be totally sold to God. Our lives must be totally sold to God so that our lives could be directed and be lived under the teachings, under the guidance of the Holy Spirit. Now the cries of conscience. Now let's just look through this cry of conscience and we round it off by looking at Paul. Now, the man in our scripture cried. That is from Romans 7 verse 24. He cried. He said, who shall deliver me? This is first step. You have known yourself as a sinner. You must be condemned that you are a sinner. You must condemn your Adamic nature. And you want to come out of the sin, of those life you live, the slavery of sins you live. You must condemn that spirit, that carnal body you have. This is first step. It comes from conscience shared by the Holy Spirit, who reprove the word of sin and of righteousness and of judgment. John, if you look, John 16, 7 and 8. Sinners will not turn to Jesus until they feel the pain of sin. You must be convinced that you are a sinner. Once you are convinced, that is when you want to be delivered. And there is one thing I do tell people, repentance. Two types of repentance. Repentance from the heart and repentance from the tongue. Repentance from the heart, you heard the words. The words ministered to you. It touched your inner being. That was when you had genuine repentance. But if you now want to talk repentance of the tongue, the pastor, the preacher had said, who wants to give his life to Christ? Because people were coming out. You two went out. You could only say it with your tongue. But what is needed here, it is your heart. Because that is where the battleground is. Once it comes from your heart, you do it wholeheartedly. You will do it willingly. You will do it and it will be backed up by the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit who reproves. Now, Sinners will not turn to Jesus Christ until they feel the pain, until they desire righteousness, until they feel keenly his judgment. Feeling this, what is next? They must be brought to repentance. They must transfer from the flesh to that was what I said. You must be dead to that Adamic nature and replace it with the nature of God. That is a nature that is being controlled by the Holy Spirit. As long as one is living in his own strength, he is fleshly. By training and by trying, he may reach a high standard of morality and what the world calls goodness. Difference between morality and spirituality. Some people, they interpret or they want to put the two as one. You could be moral and your life could not be meaningful to God. Morality as taught by culture, as taught by discipline, as taught by some books you might have read, as taught by what you learned from the environment, as taught by the house you came from. That one is different. But spirituality, that is when you invite Holy Spirit into your life and is always there to lead you. Anytime you want to take that wrong decision, anytime you want to take that thing, anytime you want to have that evil thought, Holy Spirit will come into play and conscientize you. Don't do it. You are now a new creature. Now, this is self-righteousness and does not save. Self-righteousness does not save. God calls it good when he lives after the Spirit. If your morality is backed up by spirituality, that is when you have become a standard Christian, a Christian after God's heart. If you now put the two together, morality plus spirituality. If I say spirituality, that is when your life is being controlled, directed, and you are walked in the Spirit. Now look, Paul's earlier life was of the law and died to God. Now let us look at this. I know a thought could have come into your heart, but when Saul was converted to Paul, he never had a conviction that he was a sinner. Even he was on a journey from Jerusalem to Damascus to persecute Christians there. As he was going as a sinner, he was going as a persecutor. Along the line, Jesus Christ met him. He never had the opportunity to condemn himself as a sinner. But this verse settles that, because he never had that cry of conscience. Because when he was converted from Saul, he never had a conscience. His conscience was dead. As he was going from Jerusalem to Damascus, Jesus Christ met him. Now, I said something settles that. If you look at Romans 9 verse 15, Romans is talking about, he said, I will show mercy to whom I will show mercy to. Paul was one of them that God showed mercy. He never had a thought of a sinner. He never believed he was a sinner, but God just picked him and he made his life meaningful unto him. God bless us in the mighty name of Jesus. Now, central truth. Depending on flesh brings fall. Only the Spirit keeps man standing and alive. That is our central truth. As Christians, we must give our lives to Christ. We must walk by the Spirit. We must not allow self-righteousness to lead our path. A lot of Christians are missing it these days because when they started the journey, it was smooth with God. But as time went on, because of their own standard, because of their own ways of life, because of what they had known, they lost it and they allowed self-righteousness to come into play. And as Christians, I will enjoin us to live our lives as directed by the Holy Spirit, because we cannot do anything without Holy Spirit. If you believe in your thought, if you believe in your understanding, if you believe you are a professor, if you believe you are learned, you are going to miss it. Allow Holy Spirit. Accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior, and thereafter, allow Holy Spirit to direct your path. God will help us in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. I believe you would have learned one or two things in the course of this class. This class continues every Sunday. And by next week, Sunday, we are going to have another new topic. We've exhausted, or we have concluded the first topic we started. By next week, Sunday, we'll have the next one. God bless you in the mighty name of Jesus. Let us pray. Everlasting Father, King of Kings, we thank you for another Sunday at your feet. We glorify your holy name. We thank you because you have learned at your feet. Blessed be thy holy name in Jesus' name. You have made us to understand one or two things in your words. Blessed be thy holy name in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. We want to live our lives as being directed by Holy Spirit. Lord Father, the grace to live our lives as Christians, that our lives are directed by Holy Spirit, give unto us in Jesus' name. We don't want self-righteousness to come into play in our lives in the mighty name of Jesus. Help our unbelief in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Lord. Blessed be thy holy name. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, I have prayed. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Thank you, Father.
worthy. Now let's hear you sing it. Say worthy, worthy, worthy. Sing worthy, worthy, worthy. Worthy is the He who died and rose again, opened up the book and broke up the seal. Worthy is the Lamb, worthy is the Lion, worthy is the Son. Say worthy, say worthy, worthy is the Lamb. Say he who died and rose again, opened up the book and broke up the seal. Worthy, worthy is the Lamb, yeah, worthy is the Lion, worthy is the Son. Worthy, 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 worthy is the Lamb, worthy is the Lion, worthy is the Son. Hey, hallelujah, hallelujah for the Lord God, omnipotent. Hey, hallelujah, hallelujah, praise the Lord. Hallelujah, hallelujah for the Lord. Hey, sing hallelujah, 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 sing worthy, 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 worthy is the Lamb, worthy is the Lion, worthy is the Son. Sing worthy, 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 worthy is the Lamb. Sing worthy, worthy is the Lion. Come on, let's take it higher. Celebrate Jesus. Hey, celebrate Jesus. Celebrate Jesus. He's Lord. Celebrate Him. Celebrate Jesus. Hey, celebrate Him. Celebrate Him. Celebrate. Hey, celebrate Jesus. This is not high life music. This is the highest life music. The Zoe life. Our own is highest life music. Say highest life music. Eternal life is the highest life. Hallelujah. Man, are we ready? Are we ready? He has done it for me. Tobechuku, the Jehovah. Tobechuku, He has done it for me. Is that your testimony? Listen. Even before I prayed, Jehovah Nisi answered me. Tobechuku, He has done it for me. He has taken away my fears and given me peace of mind. So that you could, He has done it for me. See the way He answered me. So that you could, so that you could, so that you could, He has done it for me. See the way He lifted me. So that you could, oh yeah, girl. So that you could, He has done it for me. Let the trumpet play.
When I was worried and couldn't sleep, He was walking behind the scene. Oh, so that you could, He has done it for me. Tobechuku,
Even before I pray, Jehovah Nisi, answer me. Tobechuku, he has done it for me. He has taken away the fears. Giving me peace of mind. This song is for those people that he came through for.
Tobechuku, he has done it for me. While I was worried and couldn't sleep, he was walking behind the scenes. Oh, he has taken away the pain and given me joy and victory. He knew where he lifted me up. So Jehovah, join me, worship him, he has done it for me.
Maybe you don't have stuff to obey him for. Very soon you will sing this song. You better start practicing your Tobe dance.
How many of you know God is good? Can we stand together and just tell God how good he is right now? Everybody.
You are just, you are true, you are good. You are good. You are good. You are great and greatly to be praised. You are good. You are good.
Can we say it again? Sing.
You are just, you are true, you are good.
Come on, let me hear you declare. Say, you are good.
There is no argument.
You are great.
You are great.
And greatly to be. You are good.
You are
You are.
You are just, you are true, you are good. You are good. You are good. You are great and greatly to be praised. You are good.
Yes. Say.
ọ̀run fi fún wa. Lórúkọ Jésù mo ní ọ̀run fi fún wa. Pẹ̀lú ìrànlọ́wọ́ ẹ̀mí mímọ́ èmi àti rẹ̀ á dòmìnira lónìí.
Amen.
Pátápátá a bọ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀.
Amen.
A bọ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹran ara.
Amen.
Àṣẹ ọ̀run ni.
Amen.
Ìsìn òwúrọ̀ yóò dọwọ́ Ọlọ́run ìṣẹ̀dá ẹgbẹ́ àkóso.
Amen.
Láti ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ dé òpin Ọlọ́run ìṣẹ̀dá jọba láàrin wa.
Amen.
a ó máa yìn yín. Ògo ni fún orúkọ yín. Ní orúkọ ńlá Jésù Kristi, Olúwa wa. One powerful hallelujah.
Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. In the presence of God, there is fullness of joy. Let's bring our Mopgomchurch hymn book. Hymn 33. Kò sú wa láti máa kọrin hallelujah. Ògo fọ́lọ́run hallelujah. Kò sú wa láti máa kọrin ìgbàanì. Kò sú wa láti máa kọrin ti ìgbàanì. Ògo fọ́lọ́run hallelujah. Ògo fọ́lọ́run hallelujah. A lè fi ìgbàgbọ́ náà kọrin sókè kíkan. Ògo fọ́lọ́run hallelujah. Ògo fọ́lọ́run hallelujah. Ọmọ Ọlọ́run ní ẹ̀tọ́ láti máa bú sáyọ̀. Pé ọ̀nà ìyè yẹ wá sí. Ọkọ̀ wa ṣàfẹ́rí rẹ̀. Nígbò ṣe a ó dé ààfin ọba wa ológo. Nígbò ṣe a ó dé ààfin ọba wa. Ògo fọ́lọ́run hallelujah. Ògo fọ́lọ́run hallelujah. Àwa ń bẹ nínú ìbú ìfẹ́ tó rà wá padà. Àwa ń bẹ nínú ìbú ìfẹ́ tó rà wá padà. Ògo fọ́lọ́run hallelujah. Ògo fọ́lọ́run hallelujah. Àwa yóò fi ìyè gòkè lọ sókè ọ̀run. Ògo fọ́lọ́run hallelujah. Ògo fọ́lọ́run hallelujah. Ọmọ Ọlọ́run ní ẹ̀tọ́ láti máa bú sáyọ̀. Ọ̀nà yẹyẹ wá sí. Ọkàn wa ṣàfẹ́rí rẹ̀. Nígbò ṣe a ó dé ààfin ọba wa ológo. Nígbò ṣe a ó dé ààfin ọba wa ológo. Ògo fọ́lọ́run hallelujah. Ògo fọ́lọ́run hallelujah. Àwa ń lọ sí àfikún tí a fi wúrà kọ́. Àwa ń lọ sí àfikún tí a fi wúrà. Ògo fọ́lọ́run hallelujah. Ògo fọ́lọ́run hallelujah. Níbi tí a ó rí ọba ògo nínú ẹwà rẹ̀. Níbi tí a ó rí ọba ògo nínú ẹwà rẹ̀. Ògo fọ́lọ́run hallelujah. Ògo fọ́lọ́run hallelujah. Ọmọ Ọlọ́run ní ẹ̀tọ́ láti máa bú sáyọ̀. Ọ̀nà yìí yẹ wá sí. Ọkàn wa ṣàfẹ́rí rẹ̀. Nígbò ṣe a ó dé ààfin ọba wa ológo. Nígbò ṣe a ó dé ààfin ọba wa ológo. Ògo fọ́lọ́run hallelujah. Ògo fọ́lọ́run hallelujah. Níbẹ̀ a ó kọrin titun tànú tó ń dá wa ń dè. Níbẹ̀ a kọrin titun tànú tó dá wa ń dè. Ògo fọ́lọ́run, hallelujah. Níbẹ̀ àwọn àyànfẹ́ yóò kọrin ní Kristi. Ògo fọ́lọ́run, hallelujah. Ọmọ Ọlọ́run ní ẹ̀tọ́ láti máa bú sáyọ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ọ̀nà ìyè yẹ wá sí. Ọkàn wa ṣàfẹ́rì rẹ̀. Nígbò ṣe a ó dé ààfin ọba wa ológo. Nígbò ṣe a ó dé ààfin ọba wa ológo. Ògo fọ́lọ́run, hallelujah. Ògo fọ́lọ́run, hallelujah. Àmín.
Still in the mood of worship, let's close our eyes and begin to worship our Maker. He is the Lion of Judah, the I am that I am. The Ancient of Days, mighty one in battle. Ọlọ́run atóbijù ọba ìyanu. Atófaratì bí òkè gbanigbani tí à ń sáyà. Let's close our eyes and begin to worship him within our hearts. He alone is worthy of our praise. Ọba lèwí lè ṣe, ọba lè ṣe lèwí. Ògbénu Múdí Aṣọ́lá, ògbénu Adélébọ̀ ṣẹwà. Àtúgbà àrùn láì gba nǹkan kan. Ọba àwọn ọba alábẹ́ inú à ń sá sí. Gbanigbani tí à ń sáyà ọlọ́wọ́ iná olójú iná. Let's close our eyes and worship him. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Olo àròjinlẹ̀. Lórí ayé mi o. Ibi àánú báyé mi dé o. Àròjinlẹ̀ ni mo rò. Àròjinlẹ̀ o. Àròjinlẹ̀ lórí ayé wa o. Àánú Olúwa ló fi dá wa sí. Ibi àánú báyé wa dé. Ibẹ̀ náà la wà yìí, láìsí òun ni àwọn ò bá wà ń bí báyìí. Àròjinlẹ̀ ni ọ̀rọ̀. I say you are worthy. You are worthy. You are worthy. You are worthy, oh, of our praise. You are worthy. Daddy, you are worthy. Olórí ayé o. You are worthy of our praise. Ẹlẹ́bùrú ìkà. Òwò ọmọ ní ṣàfàyà tí o. Ìwọ nìkan lógo yẹ o. You are worthy. Listen, you are worthy, yeah. You are worthy. Alágbádá iná. You are worthy. Ọlọ́mọ ní ṣàfàyà tí o. You are worthy of our praise. Mo ní àìlè yí padà. Ògo yẹ ọ́. Ìṣẹ̀dá ikú nítorí àìlè yí padà rẹ̀. Ìyìn yẹ ọ́ bàbá, àìlè yí padà lọ́lọ́run wa. Àìlè yí
Amen.
Kí ló ń gbénú mi tí mo fi ń yọ̀ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀? Olúwa ló ń gbénú mi. Kí ló ń gbénú mi tí mo fi ń yọ̀ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀? Olúwa ló ń gbénú mi. Ó ń gbénú mi. Ó ń gbénú mi.
Ó gbénú rẹ̀.
Ó ń gbénú rẹ̀.
Ó fi ayọ̀ kún ọkàn mi. Ó gbénú mi.
Ó ń gbénú mi.
Ó gbénú mi.
Ó ń gbénú rẹ̀. Ó fi ayọ̀ kún ọkàn mi. Ó gbénú mi. Ijó wa àtayọ̀ wa níwájú Elédùmarè. Kí ló ń gbénú wa tí a fi ń yọ̀ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ o?
Olúwa ló ń gbénú mi.
Kí ló ń gbénú wa tí a fi ń yọ̀ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ o?
Olúwa ló ń gbénú mi.
Ó ń gbénú wa.
Ó gbénú mi. Ó gbénú rẹ̀. Ó fi ayọ̀ kún ọkàn mi. Ó gbénú mi.
Ó ń gbénú mi. Ó ń gbénú rẹ̀. Ó fi ayọ̀ kún ọkàn mi. Ó
Gbénú mi.
ijó wa tọwọ́ wa dà. Praising the Lord, oh my soul. This is the day He has made. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Praising the Lord, praising the Lord.
Praising the Lord, oh my soul.
This is another day He has
This is
made.
the day He has made.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praising the Lord.
I say, praising the Lord, oh my soul. This is the day He has made. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Praising the Lord, praising the
Praising
Lord.
the Lord, oh my soul.
Oh my soul.
This is the day He has made.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Praising the Lord.
What shall I say unto my
All
God?
I have to say is thank you, Lord.
What shall I say unto my God?
All I have to say is thank you, Lord.
Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
All I have to say is thank you, Lord.
Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
All I have to say is thank you, Lord.
Joel. Ó sì wá láti máa kọ́ orin tí ìgbà ni.
Ògo f'Ọlọ́run, hallelujah.
A lè fi ìgbàgbọ́ kọrin náà sókè kíkan.
Ògo f'Ọlọ́run, hallelujah. Ọmọ Ọlọ́run ni ẹ́.
Tọ́lá ti máa bú sáyà pé ọ̀nà yìí wá sí ọkọ̀ wá ṣàfẹ́rí rẹ̀. Bí kò ṣe àòdè à, fi ọba wá lọ́gọ́. Ògo f'Ọlọ́run, ògo f'Ọlọ́run, hallelujah. Ẹ wá bá mi gbé Jésù ga.
Mi gbé Jésù ga.
Ẹ wá bá mi gbé Jésù ga.
Mi gbé Jésù
Ẹ
ga.
wá bá mi, ẹ wá bá mi o.
Mi gbé Jésù ga.
Arákùnrin ẹ wá bá mi o.
Mi gbé Jésù ga.
Arábìnrin ẹ wá bá mi o.
Mi gbé Jésù ga.
Ẹ wá bá mi gbé Jésù ga.
Mi gbé Jésù ga.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Amen. Kí a tó jókòó,
Before we have a seat,
à ń tẹ̀síwájú láti yin Ọlọ́run ìṣẹ̀dá ikú.
we are moving forward in praising the God of immortal
Ṣùgbọ́n ní
creation.
àkókò yìí,
But at this time,
hallelujah wa la ó fi yìn.
it is through our hallelujah we are going to praise Him.
Wípé bàbá ẹ ṣé o,
Thank you, Father.
ní ilẹ̀ ràn wá lọ́wọ́ dé.
Hitherto you have helped us.
Àánú ńlá yín la rí gbà o.
We are able to obtain your great mercy.
Ọjọ́ ìsinmi àkọ́kọ́ ní oṣù kejì.
The first Sunday service in the month of February.
A ó kí hallelujah mẹ́ta tó sanra dáadáa.
Shout 3 fat hallelujah.
1, 2, go! Hallelujah! 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 Ògo! Bá mi pàtẹ́wọ́ rẹ fún pàtẹ́wọ́ fún pàtẹ́wọ́
Put your
fún.
hands together to Him.
Amen.
Amen.
Ẹ jẹ́ kí a jókòó.
Let's have a seat.
A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i.
We give thanks to the Lord once again.
Ọlọ́run nínú àánú rẹ̀ tó tún kà wá yẹ lónìí.
The Lord in His infinity mercy that count us worthy today.
Àbí àwọn làásìgbò January ṣe pọ̀ tó.
Despite the fact of all the troubles and problems in January,
Ó mú wa làájá.
He gave us the grace to cross over.
Ìyẹn nìkan kọ́ kò jẹ́ kí a máa dúpẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀.
It's not that one alone, but we were not just thanking Him just because we are asked to thank Him.
Àṣepé ló ṣe oore rẹ̀ fún wa.
He did it a blessing perfectly for us.
A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run.
We ascribe all glories to Him.
A sì kí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Ọlọ́run pé a kú ìsinmi tí ò ní.
We are welcoming the children of the Lord into today's Sunday service.
Mo gbàdúrà tí Kristi Olúwa bá fa bíbọ̀ rẹ̀ sẹ́yìn, a ó ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ rẹ̀ láyé.
I pray if Christ tarry, we are going to experience many more on the planet of the earth.
Ìgbàlà kò ní sọnù mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́.
And our salvation will not lost away from us.
Ẹ jẹ́ kí a farabalẹ̀ láti tẹ́tí sí àwọn ìfilọ̀ wa bí ó ti lọ fún ti ọ̀sẹ̀ yìí.
Let us listen patiently to our announcement for the week.
A ní ọjọ́ Wednesday tí í ṣe ọjọ́ keje.
On
Ní-
Wednesday,
ní ìpàdé àṣálẹ̀ Pentikọ́sì bí a ti máa ń ṣe é ní ìlú ńlá Ọlọ́run.
on Wednesday, which is on 7th of this month, that is when the Pentecost night is going to come up at the great city of God.
Bákan náà ní àárín ọ̀sẹ̀ yìí ni a ó ṣe ìpàdé ìràpadà pàdé ńlá 10, 11, 12.
Likewise, the 10, 11, 12 program is going to commence this week.
Yóò bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní ọjọ́ Sátidé, ọjọ́ àbámẹ́ta, yóò sì parí sí òwúrọ̀ Tuesday.
Which is going to start on Saturday and is going to end Tuesday morning.
Ẹ jẹ́ kí a fi sọ́kàn.
Let us bear it in mind.
Lónìí yìí kan náà ni ìpàdé ní ẹ̀ka ìjọba ní Bájọmọ yóò wáyé.
Today, the program at Bajomo is going to commence.
Láti ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn ọmọ mi wa gbogbo àwọn obìnrin rere wọn ní ká dúró lẹ́yìn oore ọ̀fẹ́ wọ́n fẹ́ rí wa.
From our mommy in the Lord, all the good women are to wait after the grace or brief meeting.
Lónìí yìí nínú ìjọsìn náà ni àwọn ọmọ ọlọ́pẹ́ gbogbo ọmọ oṣù kejì February wọ́n wá síwájú láti dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Ọlọ́run tó mú kí wọ́n tún rí oṣù ìbí wọn láyọ̀ àti àlàáfíà.
Today in the service is today that the celebrants, those that were giving birth to in the month of February, are going to come forward to thank God for giving them the grace to be able to experience their month again.
Mo gbàgbọ́ pé wọ́n ti ń gbáradì.
I'm sure they are already prepared.
Ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Tuesday, ọjọ́ ìṣẹ́gun, àwọn ọ̀dọ́ máa ń ní ìṣọ́òru wọn lórí òkè yìí.
Every Tuesday, all the youths do observe their night vigil on this mountain.
Nígbà tí àwọn aláboyún máa ń ní ìpàdé wọn ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Wednesday.
While the pregnant women do observe their programs every Wednesday.
Bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti aago 9 ní òwúrọ̀.
Starting from 9 a.m. in the morning.
Jẹ́ kí a fi sọ́kàn.
Let us bear it in mind.
Bákan náà, títún gbogbo àyíká ilé Ọlọ́run ṣe orí òkè yìí ojúṣe gbogbo wa pátápátá ni ẹ rí wípé tó bá ti ń mọ́ inú àwa pàápàá yóò máa dùn bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni inú Ọlọ́run sì ń dùn sí wa.
So also the sanitation of this environment, the mountain, is the responsibility of every one of us. As it's being cleaned, so also we be happy to eat. So let's take it to mind.
Ní àkókò yìí,
At this time,
a fẹ́ lọ gba ọrẹ.
we want to collect offering.
Ọrẹ àkọ́kọ́ náà ni ọrẹ ọjọ́ ìsinmi.
The first offering is the Sunday service offering.
Nígbà tí wọ́n pe bàbá wa nínú Olúwa, ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run Olúṣọlá láti gbàdúrà sí ọrẹ náà.
As I'm going to call the servant of the Lord, Pastor Olushola, to pray over the offering.
Ní orúkọ Jésù. Ní orúkọ Jésù.
Amen.
Ayérayé Ọlọ́run ìṣẹ̀dá ìkó. Ayìn lógo agbẹ́yìnga. Adúpẹ́ fún àánú àtòrí ọ̀fẹ́ tẹ́ fún wa láti tún wá síwájú yín ní òwúrọ̀ òní. Tí í ṣe Sunday àkọ́kọ́ nínú oṣù kejì 2024. Ayìn lógo Ọlọ́run ìgbàlà wa, Olúwa gba ọpẹ́ wa.
Amen.
Ǹjẹ́ ọrẹ ọjọ́ ìsinmi la mú wá síwájú yín ní òwúrọ̀ òní, Olúwa tẹ́wọ́ gbà á.
Amen.
Ọlọ́run ìṣẹ̀dá ìkòkò yà á sí mímọ́.
Amen.
Ògo ni fún orúkọ mímọ́ inú òkè ọ̀run.
Hallelujah.
Ní orúkọ Jésù Kristi, Olúwa wa.
Amen.
Let's rise on our feet and praise Jesus.
A ó dìde dúró, a ó máa jó, a ó máa yọ̀ níwájú ọba àwọn ọba bí àwọn akọrin yóò ti máa fún wa ní orin tó dára.
Olúwa pé mo ní ọ láti máa sábà. Mo dúpẹ́ Olúwa pé mo ní ọ láti máa fọ̀rọ̀ lọ. Ọpẹ́lọpẹ́ rẹ ayé yìí bá ti kẹ́rù mi sígbó. Ọpẹ́lọpẹ́ rẹ ayé yìí bá ti kẹ́rù mi dànù. Mo yìn ọ́ Jésù pé mo ní ọ láti máa sábà. Mo yìn ọ́ Jésù pé mo ní ọ láti máa bọ̀. Mo dúpẹ́ o. Olúwa pé mo ní ọ láti máa sábà. Mo dúpẹ́ Olúwa pé mo ní ọ láti máa bọ̀ lọ́lọ́. Ọpẹ́lọpẹ́ rẹ ayé ìbá ti kẹ́rù mi sí. Olúwa ọpẹ́lọpẹ́ rẹ. Mo yìn ọ́ Jésù pé mo ní ọ láti máa sábà. Mo yìn ọ́ Jésù pé mo ní ọ láti máa bọ̀ lọ́dọ̀. Mo dúpẹ́ Olúwa pé mo ní ọ láti máa sábà. Mo dúpẹ́ Olúwa pé mo ní ọ láti máa fọ̀rọ̀ lọ. Ọpẹ́lọpẹ́ rẹ ayé ìbá ti kẹ́rù mi sígbó. Olúwa ọpẹ́lọpẹ́ rẹ ayé ìbá ti kẹ́rù mi dànù. Mo yìn ọ́ Jésù pé mo ní ọ láti máa sábà. Olúwa mo yìn ọ́ Jésù pé mo ní ọ láti máa bọ̀. Ó yá mo kàn ṣàmọ̀ wípé ẹ lágbára. Ó kàn yé mi ní wípé mi ò lè tẹ́ o. Ẹni tí mo gbójúlé kì í ṣe ènìyàn o. Tí yóò fi dà mí rárá ìyà ò lè jẹ mí. Mo mọ̀ wípé ẹ lágbára. Bàbá o, ẹni tí mo gbójúlé kì í ṣe ènìyàn. Tí yóò fi dà mí rárá ìyà ò lè jẹ mí. Ìmàmà yìí ṣe torí mo dára àbí torí mo mọ àdúrà gbà o. surely you have obtained mercy. Shout hallelujah. Hey, àwa tàrí àánú gbà láàrin ogunlọ́gọ̀ ènìyàn. Ẹ wò wá ṣe lóore, ẹ wò wá ṣe láàánú. Hey, kí màmá yìí ṣe torí mo dára tàbí torí mo mọ àdúrà àgbà rárá. Àánú ni o, tí wọ́n bá ń tà á mi ò lè ríra lọ́jà. Oh yeah, thank you for fighting my battle for me, Jehovah olùgbèjà. Thank you for fighting my battle. Ẹ ṣé o, thank you for not leading me to the wishes of my enemies. Thank you for fighting my battles for me, Jehovah olùgbèjà. Ó yá, olówó lọ́wọ́ kò yín bàbá. Boni olówó lọ́wọ́ kò yín bàbá. Oníṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ kò yín bàbá. Olówó lọ́wọ́ kò yín bàbá. Ọba onílé ayọ̀ mo gbéga. Ọba ẹlẹ́rù ni mo gbéga o. Ọba onílé ayọ̀ mo gbéga.
Ọba ẹlẹ́rù ni mo gbéga. Ẹ ṣé, yá jókòó.
Let's have a seat.
Ìdá mẹ́wàá àti ẹ̀jẹ́.
Tithes and vows.
Nígbà tí wọ́n pe bàbá wa ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run Òjó láti gbàdúrà sí.
As I'm calling on Pastor Ojo to pray over it.
Ní orúkọ Jésù.
Amen.
Ayérayé Ọlọ́run ṣẹ̀dá ẹ̀kú. Gbogbo ògo, gbogbo ọlá, gbogbo ìyìn la fi fún yín. Fún ìjà látẹ̀jà lórí ayé wa. À ń lọ síbi iṣẹ́ wa látàláfíà. À ń bọ̀ látàláfíà. Ó tá máa jẹ làwọn káàkiri ìjápàdé tó máa jẹ wá. Àwòdáyẹ̀ ẹ̀jọ́ gbé wa lọ. Ẹ̀já ṣọkọ̀ wọ̀. Ó lè ara olè bí òtó jà wá. Ayé abẹ́rẹ́ ṣé ó yẹ ẹ̀gbọ́n ọpẹ́ wa.
Amen.
Bàbá ẹ̀ mọ̀ ṣé o. Ọba tó jẹ́ àtàtà jèrè. Ó jẹ́ àtàtà ṣọ́ọ̀tì. Ọpẹ́ là ń wá. Bàbá kọ ọpẹ́ wa.
Amen.
Ìdá mẹ́wàá náà rèé bàbá ó lè yà á sí mọ́.
Amen.
Ìbùkún ọ̀run ó la ìrọ̀jẹ́ sínú iṣẹ́ wa.
Amen.
Ajáde apẹ̀rẹ̀ ó lè bá àwùjọ ayé wa.
Amen.
Àṣedànù àṣeèrí lórúkọ Jésù ìdọ́lọ́kọ̀ ojú òde eru.
Amen.
Lórúkọ Jésù ó lè ara ó lẹ̀ bí kò ní jẹ ẹ̀yin oníṣòwò.
Amen.
Ẹ̀yin oníṣẹ́ ìjọba lórúkọ Jésù alágbèrè òní àwájú yín.
Amen.
Má jẹ́ mọ́ ọdún òṣèlú ayé wa o. Àrìbá ti ṣe. Àárọ̀ náà gbégbà. Ọ̀rẹ́ náà ó lè yà á sí mọ́.
Amen.
Ọlọ́ṣẹ̀dá ẹ̀kọ́ gbogbo àpótí jáde ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ oyè ìfirọ́bù síbẹ̀. A máa yìn ògo fúnkọ ọmọ yín o. Ní orúkọ Jésù Kristi Olúwa wa.
Amen. Ẹ ṣé àyè ọpẹ́ yọ. Ẹ ṣé àyè ọpẹ́ yọ. Ẹ ṣé àyè ọpẹ́ yọ. Ẹ ṣé o àyè ọpẹ́ padà yọ. Ó padà yọ. Ó ti yọ, ó ti yọ. Ẹ ṣé àyè ọpẹ́ yọ bàbá. Àdúpẹ́ wípé àyè ọpẹ́ yọ. Ẹ ṣé àyè ọpẹ́ yọ o. Ẹ ṣé o àyè ọpẹ́ padà yọ. Ó mà ti yọ. Ẹ ṣé ọpẹ́ yọ. Ẹ ṣé ọpẹ́ yọ. Ẹ ṣé ọpẹ́ yọ o. Ẹ ṣé o àyè ọpẹ́ padà yọ. Ó yá Jésù ẹ ṣé àyè ọpẹ́ padà yọ. Ó yọ. Lórí ayé wa, lórí iṣẹ́, lórí ẹbí, lórí ará, nínú ìjọ rẹ̀. òkè agbára. Ẹ pè é lórúkọ tó ń jẹ́ gbanigbani lóde ọ̀run.
Ẹ ṣé.
Thank you.
Ọrẹ ìtànkálẹ̀ ìhìn rere.
Evangelical offering.
Nígbà tí wọ́n pe bàbá wa ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run Ọlọ́ládé láti gbàdúrà sí.
As I'm calling up Pastor Ololade to pray over it.
Orúkọ Jésù. Ní orúkọ Jésù.
Amen.
Ọrẹ ìtànkálẹ̀ ìrere wa rèé wọ Ọlọ́run mi. Láti mú kí iṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ yìí kó máa gbèrú kó máa tẹ̀síwájú. Ọrẹ kọ̀ọ̀kan nínú ìta tí mo wá ó yá yà sí mímọ́.
Amen.
Láti inú àpò kọ̀ọ̀kan tó ti jáde ìbùkún àtòkè ó yá rán sí wa.
Amen.
Iṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ ìpè ìgbàlà ìkẹyìn lórúkọ Jésù gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ. Gbogbo igun mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin àgbáyé kó kalẹ̀ síbẹ̀.
Amen.
Ọwọ́ agbára ńlá Ọlọ́run kó di rírí.
Amen.
Kó di mímọ̀.
Amen.
Ọlọ́run kó di gbígbéga.
Amen.
Jésù Olúwa wa.
Amen.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ti fẹ́ kórí bẹ́ẹ̀ fún mi. Ẹ ṣé o, ọmọ Màríà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ti fẹ́ kórí bẹ́ẹ̀ fún mi. Ẹ ṣé o, ọmọ olùgbèjà. Ẹ ṣé o. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ti fẹ́ kórí bẹ́ẹ̀ fún mi. Ẹ ṣé o, ọmọ Màríà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ti fẹ́ kórí bẹ́ẹ̀ fún mi. Ẹ ṣé o.
Ẹ ṣé. Ọrẹ tó kàn náà ni ọrẹ àwọn ọmọdé.
The next offering is the children offering.
Tí ń gbà tí wọ́n pe bàbá wa nínú Olúwa ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run Àlàbí láti gbàdúrà sí.
As I'm calling on the servants of Alabi to pray over it.
Ní orúkọ Jésù.
Amen.
Ní orúkọ Jésù.
Amen.
Ní agbára ẹ̀jẹ̀ Jésù.
Amen.
Ayérayé Ọlọ́run ṣẹ̀dá ìkó. Àwọn adúpẹ́ aláyọ̀ àyìn lógo lórí àwọn ọmọdé wa. Adúpẹ́ lílọ bíbọ̀ wọn. Adúpẹ́ pẹ̀yìn lálábò nílẹ̀ Góṣẹ́nì.
Ẹ ṣé.
Ẹ̀jẹ̀wó dẹrù àrùká. Ẹ̀jẹ̀wó dẹrù àrùkiri.
Ẹ ṣé o.
Adá gbogbo ògbó àtọ́lá sọ wípé ẹ ṣé Olúwa ẹ gbọ́ ọpẹ́ wa.
Amen.
Àwọn ọmọdé wa ní Olúwa ẹ yà sí mímọ́.
Amen.
Olúwa ẹ lò fógo yín.
Amen.
Níbi òṣèbẹ́.
Amen.
Padà. Jésù Olúwa wa.
Amen.
Onídùúró mi ẹ ṣeun o. 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 Onídùúró mi ẹ ṣeun o.
Ẹ ṣé.
Thank you.
Gbogbo àwọn ọkùnrin onígbàgbọ́ wọn ní ká dúró fún ìpàdé ráńpẹ́ lẹ́yìn oore ọ̀fẹ́.
Men of faith are to wait behind after the grace for short meeting.
Tí a bá rí ẹnikẹ́ni tó mú ọrẹ àkọ́so first fruit.
If there's anyone that is here with his first fruits,
Ẹ jẹ́ kí wọ́n jáde láti fi kí ọ̀ṣà kan dúró síbẹ̀ láti gbà ọrẹ àkọ́so tó bá wà.
come forward if there
Gbogbo
is.
àtàbà mú wá your first fruit. Ẹ fún wa lórí. Ọrẹ àkọ́so. Amen. Ẹ ṣé. Orúkọ Jésù.
Amen.
Ọlọ́run ìṣẹ̀dá tí kì í kú àwọn tó mú ọrẹ àkọ́so wá lónìí ọ̀run tẹ́wọ́ gbà á.
Amen.
Ọrẹ yín ó ṣe ìtẹ́wọ́gbà.
Amen.
Iṣẹ́ yín, òwò yín, ọjà dín tí ọrẹ yìí ti jáde wá ọ̀run sọ ọ́ di ńlá.
Amen.
Ọ̀run sọ ọ́ di ìbùkún.
Amen.
Iṣẹ́ náà kò ní bàjẹ́.
Amen.
Ó ti rí bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ṣe ti ọdún yìí, ọdún tó ń bọ̀ lórúkọ Jésù ẹ ò ní di ẹni àwátì.
Amen.
Àṣẹ ọ̀run ni.
Amen.
Jésù Olúwa wa.
Amen.
Ní àkókò yìí,
At this time,
gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Ọlọ́run tó jọ́sìn pẹ̀lú wa fún ìgbà àkọ́kọ́
all the children of God that are fellowshipping with us for the first time,
níwájú Ọlọ́run ènìyàn kì í tijú.
there is nothing like feeling shy in the presence of
Tí
God.
ìjọsìn tòní bá jẹ́ ìgbà àkọ́kọ́ rẹ láti darapọ̀ pẹ̀lú wa,
If today have to be the first day of fellowshipping with us on a Sunday service like
ẹ
this,
jẹ́ kí a má bọ̀ wá síwájú fún àdúrà.
let us come forward for prayers.
A kí yín káàbọ̀ sáàrin wa.
Welcoming you into our midst.
You are welcome. How do you do? You are welcome to our midst. You wish you happy stay. You are welcome. How do you do? You are welcome to our midst. We wish you happy stay. You are welcome. How do you do? You are welcome to our midst. We wish you happy stay. You are welcome. How do you do? You are welcome to our midst. We wish you happy stay.
Jẹ́ kí a gbàdúrà. Orúkọ Jésù.
Amen.
Ní orúkọ Jésù.
Amen.
Ọlọ́run ìṣẹ̀dá tí kì í kú. A dúpẹ́ agbéyín ga lórí àwọn ìdílé wọ̀nyí. Àwọn ọmọ yín tẹ́ fún lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti darapọ̀ pẹ̀lú wa fún ìgbà àkọ́kọ́ fún ìjọsìn tí ò ní ayérayé ẹ gbà ọpẹ́ wa. A dúpẹ́ lórí wọn fún ibi tẹ́ ti ń mú wọn bọ̀. A dúpẹ́ ibi tẹ́ mú wọn dé. Ìpinnu rere tẹ́ ní fún ayé wọn. Ayérayé ẹ ṣé Olúwa gbà ọpẹ́ wa. Mo wá gbàdúrà ẹ̀yin èèyàn Ọlọ́run tí ẹ darapọ̀ pẹ̀lú wa fún ìgbà àkọ́kọ́ lónìí ẹ ó mọ̀ ọ́ sí rere. Ọlọ́run ìṣẹ̀dá ẹ̀gún tó mú yín wá ó ní ìdí pàtàkì tó fi mú yín wá lórúkọ Jésù náà ayé yín mo ní yóò ṣẹ. Òun náà ni wípé ìyanu ọ̀run kó bẹ̀ sí farahàn nínú ayé yín lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan mo ní yóò rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Bí ẹ ó ti máa wọlé tí ẹ ó máa jáde pẹ̀lú wa bí a ti ń jọlá Ọlọ́run ìṣẹ̀dá ẹ̀kú ẹ̀yin pẹ̀lú ẹ ó máa jọlá Ọlọ́run ìṣẹ̀dá ẹ̀kú. Tó bá rí ohun kan tẹ́ pè ní àìní tó bá yín wólẹ̀ níwájú ọba àwọn ọba nípa tara ni nípa tẹ̀mí ni lónìí ọ̀run bá a pàdé. Àìní ayé yín ọ̀run bá a pàdé. Ogun ni ẹ ó wá ẹ ò ní rí mọ́. ìyanu ọ̀run ó bẹ̀ sí fara ọ̀nà ayé yìí. Ó ti rí bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Ilé tẹ́ ẹ fi sílẹ̀ láyọ̀ àti àlàáfíà ayọ̀ náà lẹ́ ó padà sílé. Mo wá gbàdúrà ìjọba ọ̀run òun náà ni èrè onígbàgbọ́ lórúkọ Jésù. Ẹ ó ṣàṣedélé. Agbára ọ̀run tá a fi ń tẹ̀síwájú ẹ̀mí mímọ́ ti ń gbé ní ró lójú ọ̀nà ìgbàlà lónìí ó wọnú ayé yìí. Nínú ọkọ̀ ìgbàlà ẹ ò ní jábọ́. Ẹ ó ṣàṣedélé o. Àṣẹ ọ̀run ni. Ìbùkún tọ́lọ́run ti pèsè fún gbogbo olùjọ́sìn lónìí tiyín yóò tẹ̀ yín lọ́wọ́. Àṣẹ ọ̀run ni. Jésù Olúwa wa. Ẹ ṣé. Amen. Àwọn tó wọ́n fi tó mi létí náà ni àwọn aṣọ́nà, àwọn ọ̀ṣà. Wọ́n fẹ́ fọ àwọn àga wa yìí. Wọ́n sì ti dá ọjọ́ sí ọjọ́ Tuesday tí ó ń bọ̀. Wọ́n wá ń rọ̀ wá gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Ọlọ́run tí a lè fi àyè sílẹ̀ láti darapọ̀ pẹ̀lú wọn kí iṣẹ́ náà lè yá láti fọ. Wọ́n ti fọ àwọn kan ṣùgbọ́n àwọn tó kù láti lè fọ̀ ní ọjọ́ Tuesday tó ń bọ̀ yìí pé kí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Ọlọ́run kí a darapọ̀ pẹ̀lú wọn.
The ushers are requesting for the volunteers on the basis of the fact that we want to wash the chairs on Tuesday. So if anyone that is available should make sure you join them.
Iṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run ni mo mọ̀ wípé ìwọ náà ò ní fẹ́ gbẹ̀yìn.
It is the work of God. I know that you will not want to be left out.
Olúwa yóò ràn wá lọ́wọ́.
The Lord will help us.
Ní àkókò yìí,
At this time,
àwọn ọmọ ọlọ́pẹ́ tòní.
the celebrant of today.
Gbogbo ọmọ tí a bí ní oṣù kejì.
As many of us that were being given birth to in the month of February.
Èmi máa ń sọ ò bá pé 90 ọmọ ni ọ́ níwájú Olúwa.
Even though you are 90 years, you are still a baby in the hands of the Lord.
Ẹ ó máa bọ̀ wá síwájú fún ìdúpẹ́ pàtàkì yín gbogbo ọmọ ọjọ́ ìbí February.
You are to dance forward for the special Thanksgiving or the February celebrants.
Àwọn akọrin yóò máa fún wa lórin tó dùn tó dùn.
As the choirs are going to give us a melodious song.
Ó yá o.
Àgbẹ̀ ọ̀gá o ọba tiwa. Ẹni tó fìfẹ́ ṣe wáyé kò sóhun tó lè yà. Mi á Jésù ọba ìgbàlà. Òun ṣe lọ́lúwa mi. Àgbẹ̀ ọ̀gá ọba tiwa. Kò sóhun tó lè yà. Mi á Jésù ọba òun ṣá lọ́lọ́run mi. Gbogbo ọlọ́pẹ́ sọ pé adé ọ̀gá o ọba tiwa. Ẹni tó fìfẹ́ ṣe wáyé kò sóhun tó lè yà. Wáyé Jésù ọba ìgbàlà. Òun ṣe lọ́lúwa wá. Àgbẹ̀ ọ̀gá o ọba tiwa. Ẹni tó fìfẹ́ ṣe wáyé kò sóhun tó lè kà ní ayé Jésù ọba ìgbàlà. Òun ṣe lọ́lúwa. Tó bá yí bẹ́ẹ̀, orúkọ tó gbà mí là ó, tó múnú mi dùn tó pa mí lẹ́rìn ayọ̀. Aládé ìwúrà ni àwí máa yẹ wò, àsọ̀rọ̀ máa tà sí. Are you dancing or what?
ayọ̀ ọba tó ṣe wá lóore. Orúkọ tó gbà mí là ó tó múnú mi dùn tó pa mí lẹ́rìn ayọ̀. Aládé ìrora ni àwímáyẹ̀. Àṣàrà máa ta ṣe. Ó dáná ayé má ti mọ̀ kò ṣe é gbé pamọ́ gbogbo ayé ló ti mọ̀ olóore wa ní ẹbí má ti mọ̀ kò ṣe é gbé pamọ́ kò ṣe é gbé pamọ́ gbogbo ayé ló ti mọ̀ olóore wa ní ọ̀rẹ́ má ti mọ̀ kò ṣe é gbé pamọ́ kò ṣe é gbé pamọ́ gbogbo ayé ló ti olóore mi ní sọ pé Yésù wá Amasiya Lion of Judah Agone Chamber Yésù wá Lion of Judah Agone Chamber Agone Chamber.
Amen.
Amen.
Ẹ̀yin ọmọ February,
The February celebrants,
ẹ̀yin mo fẹ́ kí gbogbo ènìyàn ó gbọ́
I want everyone to hear.
ohun tí Ọlọ́run fi pàṣẹ rẹ̀ ni pé kó lè jẹ́ láàrin àwa àti Ọlọ́run wípé ẹ̀wọ́ tó dúpẹ́ lọ́dún yìí pé wọ́n wá dúpẹ́ lọ́dún tó ń bọ̀.
The reason why God commanded it is that it is between us and God, that you came to appreciate this year, the coming years, as well you are going to give thanks to Him.
Ìbá ṣe ọmọ rẹ, ìbá ṣe wọ ló bá jẹ́ ọmọ February, ohun tó bá lè ṣe tó lè ṣe pé kò kàn gbégbé ṣé bí ẹni pé wọ́n fi ṣe ti pé Ọlọ́run dá ẹ sí di ọdún yìí kó tún lè dá ọ sí tọmọtọmọ di ọdún tó ń bọ̀ òun ni Ọlọ́run fi sọ pé ká tẹ̀síwájú kí mo gbàdúrà fún àwọn ènìyàn ní gbogbo oṣù pé yóò jẹ́ láàrin òun àti ènìyàn pé òun tó mú ọ wọ ọdún yìí òun ó tún mọ lé ọdún yìí di ọdún tó ń bọ̀ torí náà kì í ṣe pé ayẹyẹ ṣùgbọ́n jẹ́ láti ní májẹ̀mú láàrin Ọlọ́run àti ènìyàn.
Either you or your children, you need to do something that is tangible, that is going to be a covenant between you and God, that He has kept you this year and is going to keep you again till next year, so that it will be something that is seen.
Tó bá jẹ́ pé o bá ti ń bọ̀ sí irú pàdé báyìí máa ronú àwọn tí Ọlọ́run ṣe fún ọ kí ni mo lè fi fún ọ. Ó jẹ́ láàrin wa àti Ọlọ́run.
If you are coming for this type of service, you need to think of what you can give to God, of what He has done for you.